Paul, appreciate you joining us this morning. How impressed were you with the attitude that was shown by the boys on Tuesday? Because they've probably done no harm in staking a claim for their spot in the first team.
Oh, I thought I enjoyed the game on Tuesday night. We had good travel and support across to Gillingham, and I felt we played really, really well. It's a difficult place to go to. Gillingham had a very, very strong team out as well. A lot of senior players who played on the Saturday and who also played a lot of league games. And I thought we were very good. I thought we were full value for the win. And it was a game where you, as a manager, you want players to perform like that. You want to leave the stadium happy. You want to leave the game praising your players and then speaking to the coaching staff about how well player A, B, C and done. And that can then lead into Saturday's game where it's places are up for grabs and also places on the bench.
Yeah, you spoke about it being a step in the right direction. Has it given the squad a little nudge or a reminder saying, you know, if I'm not performing, this guy's ready to take my spot?
I think that's how good clubs are. I think for us all, having players in and around the building that, you know, the supporters want to see off the bench, the supporters want to see playing. I think the fans identify with good players very, very quickly. And as a club that's had a lot of change in the summer, you know, we've still got lads, for example, the front two tonight, Piggott and Chaplin, that their Ipswich careers probably haven't really started yet. I know Connor got the goal the other week at Portman Road, which was a great equaliser against Sheffield Wednesday. So that's built his little relationship with the fans. Joe got an excellent goal the other night. So we've still got loads of work to do. We've still got loads of players that we're trying to integrate in. Still trying to work out probably what is our best team. Along the way, we've got a lot of good players. So it was a pleasing night Tuesday, especially on the back of Saturday's disappointing performance at Accrington. The result is what it is, but the performance was very, very disappointing from us. And we must pick that up tomorrow against Shrewsbury.
We have one missing, Bert Selina on international duty, of course, so it gives someone an opportunity.
100%. That's what football's about. You know, up to that point, I think we were 3 unbeaten. I think we'd won 2 and drew 1. We were on the back of a really good result against Doncaster, and you've got to keep these runs going. Once one run ends, you start again. We've now won at Gillingham, we're up and running again, and we've got to make runs last longer, and we've got to stay unbeaten longer. We know how difficult that is. It's a league that's littered with freak results every weekend. Anyone beats anyone in the division. For us, we've got to make sure that we turn up. And to turn up, it's not about how good your players are, it's how hard do they work. And for as hard as we'd worked for 3 games, we were left short in that department. And that, as a manager, is the point that you go, it's not acceptable. It is, but not very often. Not very, very often. And that was a real hammer blow to us Saturday at Accrington.
How important could the home form be if the club is to achieve what it wants to this season?
Our supporters have played their part from day one. Since the new ownership come in, the season ticket sales went through the roof. The home support's been plus 20,000 in literally every game. The away support has been sold out in probably every game. So if you're asking the supporters for help, I think they've given it in an abundance. I think for us now, it's can we give them another performance at home that lets them leave Portman Road happy? Could we progress up the league a little bit to see us get to where we want to be in terms of league position? And can we start another little run that can see us all become more happy than we were last week?
We've spoken about some of those that were involved on Tuesday. Really good to see Louis Barry back on the pitch.
I'm delighted for Louis, especially when you're a young player who carries so much on your shoulders. He's such a lovely, likeable young lad. He's got such talent for football, as we seen the other night in his 20-minute cameo, where he probably should have scored. He's probably had 2 or 3 shots. He's probably been brought down for a penalty. And it's everything you want from a player in the last third of the pitch. On that night as well, with Piggott and Chaplin scoring, Kyle Edwards playing well, you know, it was a good night for our players, and certainly for Louis more so than anyone, I was delighted for him.
Unfortunately, Sonny Aluko missed out with that one, but where's he at with the illness?
Sonny's back training. He joined in yesterday with no problems. He had a virus that I think's going round. There's been a lot of people suffering with it, so it knocked him back for a day or 2. But he's one who's been knocking at the door to play now. He looks very, very sharp. And that was probably the biggest disappointment from Tuesday, was the fact that we never got to see Sonny play for 90 minutes, because that was the plan.
Those that we haven't seen for a little while, the likes of maybe Hayden Coulson, Christian Walton, are they trending in the right direction?
Yeah, all progressing really, really well. Back on the grass in bits and pieces. Hopefully after this weekend, might see them progress to being back involved for next week's game. Very much touch and go for that. But they're progressing really, really well, and they won't be off for long.
Shrewsbury away last season, you spoke to Steve. Don't think he was in the dugout for that one, but back on the touchline for this. How pleased are you with that?
Oh, great. Steve's a really good football guy. He's unfortunate like myself now. I think we're getting called experienced managers now. I don't know whether Steve likes that. I'm not so sure I like it. But he's had success. He knows the game inside out. He knows how to set his teams up. He's got a clear identity in how he likes them to play and what he believes in. And it's great to see him. You know, the COVID did knock him sideways. It really did. And speaking to him, it had a big effect on him. It's great to see he's come through it now. And he's back on the touchline and looking forward to seeing him tomorrow and having a beer after the game.
In previous interviews, Paul, you've mentioned how well drilled and coached teams are now. There seems to be quite a mutual respect among managers, and particularly in this league.
I think through St George's now, I think we're seeing the benefit of the coaching education for younger coaches, for managers. I think the learning curve of the game is by watching games, by being at games, by taking training, by watching the opposition. So there's no secrets now. And when there's no secrets, it comes down to players. You know, and if you've got good players and you trust them and they turn up, the reality is you'll be okay. You know, also getting to trust the players means you know what you get out of them every week. Yeah. These are the things we're aspiring to as a club. You know, we're 10 games into a league campaign now. We're more players than probably any other club signed. You know, still a lot of unknowns around the squad as to what will we get out of these players. But we're all trying our best to take the club forward as we as the fans want it to be, the owners want it to be, and certainly I'm sure the players and the staff do as well.
Shrewsbury have some similarities with us in building a new chapter at the club, but what challenges will they possess?
100%. And when you get a lot of change, sometimes it does take time. Steve's assembled a squad now that, and I'm sure by Steve's admission he'll say, have been unlucky in some of the games. Certainly have had big moments in games that if they go your way, it wouldn't change. I'm sure Steve's quite happy, and again I'm speaking from my point of view, not Steve's. I'm sure Steve's quite happy with some of the performances, but probably like ourselves would have liked more points. So I'm sure he's looking forward to the game tomorrow. He'll know what will probably take place on the pitch, and then moments will probably present themselves for both teams, and the team that takes them moments will probably win the game.